Welcome everyone to another episode of the Football Analytics and Rant Show. We've got a lot of things to talk about. Not much related to the transfer news because nothing good is happening so far. A lot of major tournaments finished, and next year is going to be a very busy year. We have more on that coming. So first, we'll go to the Euros final. I think like most of you who will be watching this has watched the final. So England again choked in the final, 2 continuous Euros, and I think next one they're hosting, if I'm not wrong.
Weren't they hosting the last one?
No, last one was everywhere. That was the pan-Europe wala Euros. The final was in Wembley, so
fair enough.
Lot of games happened in England. That's all. But next time they're hosting like most of the England, UK, and Ireland. I think that's what the host is gonna be. Some games are gonna happen in Ireland. Mostly like 1 or 2 stadiums. Most of the games will be in England only. Yeah, so as you all know, the game finished 2-1. What did I say? I think it was evident that one team was like got it through much easier, and they barely scraped through every game. And there was one team that was like more mature, who actually had to face better opposition, and who went through most of the favorites of the tournament and then reached the final.
I've heard it go both ways. Some people say that no, it's France and Germany who are to blame, who didn't do well enough because they didn't finish on top of their groups, which is why one side got skewed more. And England, because they finished on the top of their group, and the other teams, because they finished on top of their group, they got easier draws. Which is a very skewed argument again. But I can't say it's without merit. It's kind of true. Let's just look at the table so we'll understand.
I mean,
so if you look at the standings, see, Germany finished first, Spain finished first, England finished first.
Yeah.
Next Group D, where France could have finished first, they finished second.
Okay.
Belgium finished second.
Okay.
And Portugal finished top. But like France and Belgium are to blame because they didn't finish on top of their group. So they made it harder for themselves. Thus making one side of the bracket more, how should I say, more uneven.
Uneven, okay. Yeah.
Let's not call it easy. People will start hating.
No, there's no hate to the other teams and that this thing. The only real test I think England got was in the semi-final against Netherlands.
I know, to be fair, see, among Group C, England, Denmark, Slovenia and Serbia, they drew every single thing. What did they do? What did they
as
do?
in that, like, England are like telling, England finished top on 5 points. Then how are they going to blame France? They are also on the same points only. England, as if England played well. England fortunate. England played shit and they got lucky. That's the only thing. And knockout rounds, I don't know how many penalty shootouts.
Let's not. Every other game, it was a surprise if the game didn't go to penalties.
No, at one point I thought like, okay, his whole plan is to somehow get out of the group stage, and every match now it's knockout. No, he'll like penalty because for some reason they're extremely good at penalties. Whoever is taking the kick.
I don't know, Pickford, I've never ever liked them as a goalkeeper, and that's not only because he plays for Everton and I'm a Liverpool fan.
Yeah,
it's not only that reason, but like in general I don't rate him as a keeper. And he's a national team keeper at that. I would prefer Dean Henderson over him, genuinely, because I think Henderson is a very good keeper. But I don't know, Pickford keeps managing it every time. There were quite a few good saves he pulled off throughout the tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like some players, what do you call that? Some players you call them club product. Some players you call them only national team.
There's that Mexico guy, no?
Ochoa. So he appears. Mexico, Ochoa. Shaqiri only appears. These guys you'll only know they exist in major tournaments.
Fair enough.
Ochoa, you'll see only this thing, World Cup. His club career is very mid-average. Shaqiri also, he had a better career, but you've never seen any highlight reel of him in club football. Anything you'll see either in Euros. He'll come score a banger in every Euro and go.
No, I mean he was good for Liverpool when he played there. I can't speak for other teams. But he was not like a consistent starter. He was always like a super sub only. So he didn't have much
injury prone
of a legacy. Yeah, very injury prone also. And these are shorter tournaments. Anyway, we're coming to the final.
So the game I think started with, the first goal was I think it was coming. It was coming. England were not able to keep the ball. I don't know what they were doing. They get the ball, 2 passes, they lose the ball. And they'll again go for the ball, they'll get the ball, they'll lose the ball. And what is that? Why are you even winning the ball if you're going to give it to the next ball?
I think Jamie Carragher said something very brilliant, because from our point of view, watching England's games, we always think like the manager is bad. The manager doesn't have a clue what he's doing, which is why England are not performing. But Jamie Carragher said, at what point do you stop blaming the manager? The last 2-3 managers in the same way have gotten hate from everyone because they are managing super team.
To be fair,
England have always had a super team. At what point do you stop blaming the manager? Maybe the manager is dominating enough to say, no, you have to play exactly how I say and only then it will be correct.
Yeah.
Maybe, and maybe not. Yeah. Gareth Southgate didn't seem like a man who imposed himself that much. Yeah. The only major problem I would point out in him was that he made garbage team selections. The final 25, final 15, that list that he made, I think last tournament or something, they had like 25 players. Out of that, there were some 6 right backs or 4 right backs or something and no left backs. There were no DMs. So it's weird selections like that and no one understands why he did what he did.
To be fair to him, he did make them reach 2 Euro finals in 8 years. He took them to a World Cup semis. I don't think any England manager has done that much, like other than the one time they won the cup.
Yeah, see, because when we look at it, we are like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. But if a person doesn't know what he's doing, how much can the players carry him? So clearly he knows at least a little bit of what he's doing. Yeah. So we can't discount him completely.
One thing I'd say is that this thing, I think a lot of people talked after that penalty shootout, this thing. He had a plan for this thing. I don't know what he's doing in the game. He like either kill the game in the last minute or go to penalties. That was his thing. And it was almost worked out for them, even in the final. There was a moment and everybody thought that it would go to penalties again. Yeah, so coming to that game, as telling England kept losing the ball, Spain had. So eventually the first goal came. Harry Kane was not visible in that game. I think he has not been that great the whole tournament, even though they won the Golden Boot, but just 3 goals.
Now people were saying that he was not at his best fitness and all of that.
He was knocked. I think against the game against Real only, that semi-final, they subbed him off. He was actually not good. There was that time we were thinking, okay, why are they subbing him out? And at this point, that was a bad decision. But something was wrong that time itself, and he didn't stay with the club. He immediately left for this thing, the England camp the next day itself. So he was not at a good form. But so you know that also. I had a feeling he should have made the sub a little earlier because...
Exactly, his substitutions are always too late.
That's why he's again going for this thing. We'll go to extra time, we'll go to penalties and somehow win.
Oh, that's a very weird tactic. To be fair, throughout the tournament, there were only 2 teams. Yeah. And we had discussed this before the tournament itself. My phone is a little teda, so maybe the angle is a little teda. Hopefully it'll come out fine. So before the tournament also, we were discussing that the 2 best teams seem to be Germany and Spain.
Yeah, correct.
And unfortunately, they had to face themselves a little earlier in the competition than we had anticipated.
Correct.
And because of that, I think we were deprived of a lot of good football.
Correct.
Because other than Germany and Spain, it's very hard for me to think of teams that were actually good to watch, entertaining to watch.
Other than Germany and Spain, it was just mostly the underdog teams that were playing well.
Fair enough.
Rest everybody, what was France on?
France was playing haram ball, peak haram ball.
I don't know what is wrong with that team. Like where is that free flowing?
Exactly, what are they lacking that they have to play like they are a relegation threatened club? I don't understand.
They legit couldn't score a single goal. They had to rely on penalties and own goals. They won like 2-3 games on own goals.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what his tactics are, but the thing is that he's got them through so much. He's won them a World Cup. He's got them to a consecutive final.
I think he should step down at some point. Like he should not stay like Joachim Löw and spoil his image, then drag the whole national team down. You could see Germany is a very big example of that thing.
He's staying and they're not firing him. Let's not get into the deep intricacies. We'll come back to the game.
So substitution again. Why so late?
And see, you can look at the score sheet. It says Cole Palmer 73. Throughout the tournament, if there was one player who actually, every time he played, showed up was Cole Palmer. And that guy was never starting. I cannot make sense of such decisions. It makes zero sense. Like, if I see you in 1 game, 2 games, and I know that, okay, this guy is going to come, he's going to make an immediate impact. 3rd game, 4th game, 5th game, at some point I will start him. No. I don't know what goes on through Southgate's head, but We are not hating on people. Last time we posted a video about the Arsenal thing, some guy went off in the comments. We're not hating on anyone. These are just our opinions.
And what
If
happened
you
to
don't
Arsenal?
agree, what happened to Arsenal? No. We're not throwing any shade. But I'm just saying.
We didn't say anything wrong. What is this thing? That guy told he expected that they were going to win the league.
So Arsenal flag. See, the people going completely off topic. People hate a lot on United fans, Liverpool fans, City fans and all. You don't hate Arsenal fans because Arsenal haven't won many things in the recent past.
Yeah.
My God, are they delusional? They are delusional to an extent that is quite concerning.
I know Arsenal fans are there. There are a lot of fans at least in India. They have a good fan following. Like among the PL teams, I think after Chelsea and United, I think they have more fans, I guess.
No, that is because that's what I'm telling you now. It's about what time you were born and what team was winning at that time. So
this thing also, like till last year, I've never seen anybody open their mouths. Arsenal fans, they'll be like suddenly sharing their team's messages. Whenever they win, they'll just react. Nothing. I have never seen any of them bragging this much until last year. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, don't you even realize that where you were like 3 years back?
Fair enough.
I mean, they were telling that they were going to win the UCL either they'll win the UCL or PL or something. That level they were telling. I mean, I let's not come to it. We'll have that for another discussion when the next season starts. So we'll come to the game. We'll keep deviating from the game.
I just want to check the framing 1 minute. Because the phone is a little teda, no? Put your hand here. What is this in frame or not? I kind of more little back just in case. Okay, good enough. Abba. No, because it's a little tilted now, I'm always scared about what the fuck is happening. Let's go.
Once it fell down like that, no?
That's why I'm saying we should get a new tripod. Okay, anyway, we were talking about the game only. Let's get back to that.
Yes. Yeah, so game, I mean, I think they overused that particular tactic.
Yeah.
And to be fair, no, there was not a team strong enough to exploit them.
Because their side of the bracket was relatively easier, no hate to the other teams that were playing, but relatively yes, it was easier.
And like no hate to them, they even England, they couldn't do anything about it. It's what happened. They reached the final with that, but then that is what when they faced a team that can come back, like which they cannot sit back, low block and defense and go counter. They are technically good, on par with them or even கொஞ்சம் better. I think Spain was the only team that is at that level they faced this whole tournament. So when it came to it, I think once they didn't have an answer for that, once they saw this is not working, they don't know what to do. Like there was literal confusion.
And I think we are only talking about what England lacked and we are taking away credit from what Spain did, which is quite, how should I say? Astonishing in one way to me, because I did not expect the new coach to come in and do so much.
Yeah.
Because Luis Enrique was sacked at the end of the World Cup run only. Mm-hmm. So I did not expect it, but apparently he has been the under-21s or the youth coach manager for quite some time.
He won like a lot of youth level tournaments. Recent, I think
which ties in very well to these guys, no?
Yeah.
Because all of them are
young players. Yeah.
Relatively young at least.
He's worked with most of these players, young players before itself. Senior players also know him. Like I think he was assistant to this guy, before
Luis Enrique. Yeah.
So he already knew the players. I think to be fair to Enrique, I think he set up the team for him a little bit in the prior. Because he worked with them earlier, the tactical, I think there's not like a huge difference in the tactical giveaway. He just refined it better, and I guess he gave more chance to young players and he didn't rely too many on the old players.
Fair. He did have favorites, and like every manager has their own favorites. But still, like this was one of, I think since I was born, this is the first time, and since I started watching football, this is among the first times I'm watching a Spain team win games without actually dominating position, dominating the ball. They were very comfortable off the ball also, which is very surprising to me because I've traditionally seen.
I'd say the credit is like a lot to go to their defense as well. I think
fair enough,
very solid defense. Like people say the midfield is good. I mean, they have a lot of their big players are not playing itself.
True.
Like who are starting early, I think during the Nations League, this thing also, they're injured. So they had to start young field, but defense was solid, and again credit to the experienced players. And I think
Carvajal was brilliant, absolutely phenomenal.
No, you could have seen the mentality during this game. The whole stadium was covered with English fans. There was only a one stand with Spanish fans.
Small pocket, yeah.
Still not intimidated at all. I mean, it could be because he plays for Madrid, maybe.
True, fair enough. No, it's still like I don't know that. I can't pinpoint exactly what clicked for the team, but all of them were playing with such chemistry.
Like they were committing so much. Like they were like, we are going to win. Like at any point, if any point in the tournament, did they look like start doubting themselves?
Fair enough.
Either they had that much confidence, or the teams were not testing enough. So I would like to go with the previous one, which is the confidence, chemistry.
And see, both their wingers, one is Nico Williams, and of course, Williams has played for some time. It's not like he spawned out of the earth or something.
Again, to the point, like this is not only a Barca Real biased team.
True, exactly.
There was more diversity than, let's say, there
were so many Betis players, there were so many Bilbao players, and it was very athletic club players. It was refreshing to watch.
There are some what is it? I think so. They had some PL players also.
True, yeah.
Usually, like if you look at the great Spanish team before, mostly it will be consisting of Real and Barca players.
Maybe that reflects much on those two clubs that we don't have too many Spanish players anymore in the team.
Fair enough. One interesting thing I think is because probably he understood that if he takes like only from two teams, it's not like all those teams don't have enough, like that people are not talented enough. Certain players don't gel along with each other, so that could lead to a problem. I mean, these, if I don't know, like even when they played for the national team, there was small friction between them during year before, but because they were very good, no one could exploit any of those things.
Correct.
So right now, I think he's selecting players on how they can manage with the other clubs, particular players, how tolerant they are of this, how much the club division will come inside. So I think that's why like there is no huge representation of one particular club right now.
And all of them players that were there were equally talented. Like one game you saw Pedri go off, Olmo came back in, and when Olmo came back in, he did impact the game.
Brilliant.
When Rodri went off, Zubimendi came in. Like you had a like for like profile-wise replacement for players, which is very rare for a team to have.
Yeah.
Like I'm not calling this a golden generation or anything of that. So the team is set up for success in a very good way.
Yeah.
Like
it's a good foundation right now.
There is not one person if you miss and one player I have to mention who has been a meme for a very long time, and I have memed him. It's Alvaro Morata. My God, phenomenal! His hold-up play, his positioning.
I think he was the captain, right?
Yeah.
He was the captain.
Sensational. He was so good. Like
other than he does the groundwork. Even if he can't score, he does everything.
Exactly. Hold-up play, positioning. He lays up the ball for other people to score. It is so good.
He was dragging the
defenders.
No
selfishness at all. Perfectly executed for. If Olmo was able to score, Oyarzabal or whatever his name is, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. If he was able to score, it's because Morata held up the play in such a brilliant way that defenders were drawn out towards him. Because otherwise, if Morata got a good chance to score, he would score. Which is not what I would have said 2-3 years back if you would have asked me. He changed his image in my mind forever now.
Yeah, I think he's like more like, he played like a team player mostly. He understood his weakness, his strengths, and he worked on those things. Like, okay, I can do this better, so I'll work on this. There are people who can score better than me in my team, so I'll make space for it. I think he accepted that as a captain, so it was a big deal. And I think he was very emotional when they subbed him out also.
Fair.
So yeah, anything else on the key?
I don't know. Obviously, we'll have to mention Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, brilliant players.
Olmo, I forgot. Sorry, I think Olmo was Pedri was the player of the tournament.
But Pedri went off in the semis, I think. No, semis he was injured and Olmo came back.
Not Pedri, my bad. Rodri, sorry.
Rodri was the player of the tournament.
Of the tournament.
He's very good, and even Rodri got injured, and you could have seen. They were showing it on the TV that the England bench was very happy that Rodri walked off. Zubimendi walked in and he held his own.
Yeah.
Not to say that Zubimendi is the worst player, but there are very few people in the world who can compare to Rodri right now. Perform at the level that he's performing. So it was very good. It was very good tournament for them, and it came together very well. To see how they are going to do after this, where they are going to build, how they are going to build after this is going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Because Spain in the World Cup was an underdog. No one expected them to go even as far as they did. The Euros before that also underdog. Like they had decent players, but we never expected them to perform well.
Yeah.
So this tournament also, they were a good team, but
to some extent that is a good thing. Like for these young players, like nobody's expectations.
not much expectations. True.
Like so they can nicely get the win through until okay, now we are in the semis or now we are in the final. So I think everybody was thinking like, oh no, like I mean we were all calling them favorites, but inside like it was not like heavy favorites. It was like how we used to told last Euros France are going to smash every team and win or something. It was not like that. I mean, okay, there are equally good teams also there.
Sounds psychotic to say that France are going to smash every team. Fellows can't go to the penalty area. Forget about shooting.
I think this thing was a Nations League finals or also Nations League is going to come. I think so. The groups are.
How many games are these poor players going to play? I know they earn a lot of money, but still, this is slavery at this point.
Yeah, that's why I told. We'll come to that next. I think.
Okay, we'll finish this up. And 23 minutes or roughly 20 minutes, we've talked about this game. And I know not many people watch the Copa America, and if anyone does, they watch it for either Neymar or for Messi. Since there's no Neymar, I don't think there are any Brazil people here to talk about. We'll talk about the Copa America.
Yes.
Okay, I will finish it off fast because there's not much to say.
Yes.
First takeaway from the tournament, obviously Argentina were champions. And this time I don't think they had it as easy. I mean, they never had it easy.
Yeah.
But
I think compared to last time, I guess
this was more rough.
More rough.
Yep, definitely.
There's a lot. Good you told about the rough thing. I think there's a lot of controversy in this tournament. So if you don't know, usually FIFA standard pitches are 120 meters long. These pitches were 100 meters long. So 100 meters, usually in Europe, when the under 13 players, still under 13, they play 9-a-side football. So the 100 meters grounds are which they used to transition these players into 11s. So during that period, they'll play 11s in this 100-meter pitch. And then they'll go on to the bigger pitch. So it was that small. The whole reason was because all these stadiums, only the NFL stadiums in US have a capacity to hold like 60,000 plus. Not like they don't have football specific stadiums. But imagine like conducting such a big tournament like this with a huge Latino population in your country and you're not able to to be honest, like we all know why they conduct in the US, it's more the money. So it was not feasible for this thing. But in the grab for money, I think the game became very rough. I think they put these, if you don't know, these NFL fields, they use artificial turf. Most of them, they don't use grass.
Grass, yeah.
So usually they're supposed to remove it and put it. That's how FIFA mandates a particular type of grass
yes,
for every tournament and is very strict. So what they did here is they literally put a layer of grass over this artificial turf.
Yes.
So over a period of games, it started coming off. And suddenly you are in with the slippery artificial turf. There were so many injuries.
And people who've played on both will know the difference. If you've ever played, we play in a ground where there's only mud. We also play on artificial turf.
Yeah.
And some of us have had the privilege of playing on grass also. The grip you get in grass and artificial turf is genuinely, it's like you're skating around.
Slippery.
If you're used to playing on mud or on grass, artificial turf does feel like you're on roller skates going zoop zoop.
Yeah. Grass. Okay. The whole point is to stimulate this effect of grass. The problem is grass is on soil, and soil is not a hard surface. It's
pliable.
It's pliable. Yeah, the studs can hold on to it and get grip. The problem is this is a plastic under this. There's a layer of plastic under this. If you don't you land your foot properly, it will bend.
It will.
I think there were a lot of non-contact injuries this time, including the final.
Already, Copa America is like it's some gang fight. It's like some street fight. On top of that, I'm genuinely telling you, games were so poorly organized. Before we get into my 3 talking points about this thing, it was a shambolic.
People were
especially final, no?
Yeah.
People were getting into the HVAC system. HVAC is the AC vents. People were getting inside to go into the stadium.
And this is US, like the most biggest stadium facilities is supposed to be in these stadiums.
The Olympics are going to be held. The World Cup is going to be held there.
Four or five of the stadiums are going to host World Cup matches.
It was atrocious. I woke up at 5:30 to watch the game. They said game is delayed by 45 minutes. Okay, the final I'm talking about. 45 minutes. I'm like, okay.
I think I was
6:15.
7 o'clock. After 7 only, I think the game started.
6:15. I'm like, okay, game will start. They're like delayed for another half an hour. I'm like, okay, still not time for work. I'm supposed to reach at 8 o'clock. I can leave by 7:30. 6:45. They're like, game delayed. This time they're not telling me when the game will start. I am like, okay, I don't know what to do, but I have to watch the game.
The best part is you're watching the Euros final and then you are sleeping for a few hours and then you're going to watch this.
It was so bad for me work that day. So I put on my earphones. I plugged in my this thing. I took a shower with my earphones on because I didn't want to miss the game. And I had to, because Copa America is not being streamed anywhere.
Yeah.
I had to watch an illegal stream.
Say, fair enough, correct.
I am conversing this on YouTube. I don't know if police will come after me. I'm just saying, I had to take a shower like that with this thing on. And I went to work like that. During work, I took permission. I literally took half an hour permission. I'm like, ma'am, I'm doing something. I'll come back later. And I came late just to watch the game. That game is another pain in the ass. I don't want to say anything about it.
So
random.
Now people are skeptical because next year they're going to host the World Cup. So the Club World Cup is going to happen in the same country. Will it be like this? They are saying that they are going to.
It will be worse, sir.
I don't know. They're saying they're going to break off parts of the stand and increase the size of the field. How well this is going to happen, we never know. It could not. I mean, mostly, at least by the World Cup time, it should be ready because they have 2 years' time.
No, I understand FIFA is money hungry, but this money hungry, you should at least, I'm not saying they have to meet like Olympic standards, intergalactic standards and all. But I'm telling you, it was so bad to watch, and I was happy that the game was not telecast because more people would have seen it.
It was like watching some local, I don't know, no disrespect to the local, village football level they are playing, but it looked like this ground was so small, like people are compact together.
Exactly. That it forced people to get creative. It was like playing street football. Exactly.
Street football. So it's more on one-on-one things. Like you can't pass it around too much. There's no space to pass.
There was no space. In the effort to get the pitch wide, in the first few games, especially the games that were played in places like the Hard Rock Stadium and all, they were I thought that the players are not in full rhythm and all because the ball was going out 20% of the time in the first 20-30 minutes. The ball was always out. I'm like, there's something wrong. There is something wrong. I couldn't get this thing to it. And then I kept scrolling on Instagram. Then I found someone explaining the same thing that he told. I'm like, okay, that is interesting. Okay, we've been on this rant about the organization.
This is the whole bad part. Now we'll come to the good things that we got from the tournament.
There are not many good things.
Then the reason, we say, okay, this was more, let's say, at least in terms of competitive wise, this was actually a better tournament than the last. This actually looked like a tournament.
Yeah, because people hate on it for having lesser number of teams. They're they play this thing directly or at round of 16, directly or at quarterfinals.
10 teams play, 8 will go to quarterfinals.
Yeah, which is very weird. People keep mocking it a lot. I understand, but the number of teams is less. So there's not much they can do, and they still have to make a tournament out of it. They can't play 4 games and go home.
Again, money is the main motivator. Exactly. They need more matches they play, more money they can get.
Correct. You can't play 4 or 5 games and call it a tournament and go home. That's not good enough. You need at least 6-7 tournaments. Correct. So you can drag it so that more number of games, so you can invite people to be a part of it and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's get to the good parts. Good parts, Argentina won. It was a more rougher ride than the last Copa America.
They required more character again.
Definitely.
Shout out to Di Maria.
Obviously, for retiring also and contributing, absolute legend of the game.
Big game player. He every time some big game is there,
he'll show up. Definitely. He's not one of those players who sit back and expect things to happen.
Yeah, only place that he couldn't work out was United. That's up to you to debate. Okay, if you still think that he was bad player, I don't know. Leave it.
Yeah, I am not getting into that conversation only, but yes, there are few players worthy of discussing the whole tournament. While still staying and talking about Argentina, we have to talk about Di Maria. Enzo Fernandez, without his racism incident, was also good for sporting reasons on the field.
Martinez.
Again.
Both the Martinez.
Both the Martinez, correct. So Lautaro Martinez.
Apparently they're telling like he actually has a genuine shot of finishing top 5 in the Ballon d'Or
this year, huh?
Yes,
Damn.
statistically he's good. He won an international trophy. I think he won Syria.
It's basically a popularity contest now. So.
Fair enough. But yeah, I'm telling like more than Messi. I think he did from Argentina.
If they give Messi this year, at some point people will.
So last year was a scab, sir. For League One, he won League One and MLS trophy.
No. Their explanation was even better now. We are calculating it from this month to this month. In between this, he won World Cup also, so we gave it him. That's the most stupid explanation I've heard of it.
I never understood. Okay, I understand. The previous year they told World Cup is big. Okay, get it. But how is a League One trophy bigger than a Champions League trophy?
Logic Pro Max.
Like since when is like this? Like I have never seen like this. That is the reason then Neymar should have gotten Ballon d'Or.
Correct. Still staying here. Argentina, a good team, but they had like earlier you could have said that a few players could have carried the whole team.
Yeah.
This team was not a team made up of a few good players. It was an actual team. Yeah. It was a team effort to get to the final and win it.
I think this was like not more of individual talent at any point.
Definitely.
Like it was more about that like them wanting to
win.
Them wanting to win. And after the game, you saw how big it meant to them. Now, obviously, they won the World Cup. They already won a Copa America. Even if they don't win this one, also it's not going to be anything. Nobody is going to say like they're. Still, people will say they're the best team in the world.
I had to think about it. 2 years back, Messi had no international trophies. Randomly, we wake up one day, he has. I don't count that finalissima thing, but still, he has three trophies.
Hey, he's not a friendly, no. You can count that. See, he's not a friendly. They were playing for a trophy, and I don't think FIFA recognizes that as a competitive match.
Fair enough. Either way, like we just woke up and now you can't say that he didn't do anything for his country. And this tournament, people were expecting it also to be Messi's last tournament. He didn't technically announce anything, but we, for all intents and purposes, assume that it is his last. So all of them wanted it to be a good farewell for Di Maria and Messi, and the whole team got around that and they did well. Especially like we were talking about Lautaro Martinez, I never rated him as a striker.
No, nobody we were calling him overrated most of the time.
So this tournament, both the Euros and the Copa was about two strikers who are not rated.
Correct.
My God, Alvaro Morata and Lautaro Martinez. Like Alvaro Morata is hold up play and all facilitated his team. But Lautaro Martinez, every time the team counted on him, he delivered.
Assist,
he
goal,
delivered. My God. And the best part is now, he was not cocky about it. He's like, okay, these people are trusting me, I'm doing it. And he never is like, yes, like we have cocky celebrations now. We have the karma where like look at my name.
I think this is the first time like he used to play well for Inter. Like he has been consistent for Inter for a long time.
Fair, yeah.
But he has never managed to translate it to the national team. Even when the World Cup they won, a lot of people are telling he was the worst player.
Definitely.
In that final, if you would have watched, there were like so many moments in which Argentina could have killed the game. Because of those misses, it allowed France to come back into the game.
True.
But this time, he actually played well and he was like one of the best, if not one of the best players for them in the tournament.
He stepped up
for the national team.
Responsibility was on him and he delivered, which is a very different thing to say because we've only had conversations about Higuain like that or like Messi or Di Maria like that.
There was going to be parallel comparisons like he's going to be another Higuain.
So right now, to put it in a very simple way, it was a tale of two strikers redeeming themselves. One by actually scoring goals, one by helping his team build around him.
Yeah.
So Lautaro Martinez did a very good job. So that is one thing. So we finished about Argentina. Argentina, good team, great team, team effort, very good.
Yeah, Lautaro Martinez, the best team in the world. No doubt, this thing that they won the team. But I think most of us would have wanted another team to win. We'll come to that team.
Second thing, standout thing of the tournament, and I think that's a more notable thing than Argentina winning is Colombia and their run till the final.
Yeah.
And one player in particular that I have been saying over and over again for the past 2 weeks. Every person I'm meeting, you can ask him. Yes. Every time I meet someone, I'm like, are you watching the Copa America? Have you seen
we were surprised. Everyone is surprised. He's playing in Qatar. We were chumma
James.
trolling him last day. Okay, he's playing in Qatar. In between our videos, chumma like during our conversation, like he's playing in Qatar. When did he reach Qatar?
Yeah, actually, he went from Everton directly to Qatar.
Like, okay, done. His career is over, and out of nowhere he comes up and this like.
James is actually exceptional. He was playing on some. I'm telling you, we should have done some drug tests on him. The way he saw the game was completely different. It was in a league of its own.
Correct.
And it was like a traditional how if you have ever watched videos about number 10s or about breakdowns of how different roles in football, number 10 peak. It was like the manager told the whole team, see this guy, he has no role. He will play wherever he wants. He will do whatever he wants. Make sure you are available when he gets on the ball. And
the team supported that idea.
It was so good. Everyone around him were so dialed into this
Concept.
weird tactic to say that every time James was with the ball, he found himself in space with enough time, and someone put their hand up, the ball found him. I don't know how it happened. Makes no sense. Some of his passes were outrageous. Like legit, I'm telling you, he got the ball. He would be at halfway line. Someone would put their hand up somewhere. The ball would go directly to him.
Correct.
No one, nothing doing it. And it would land so perfectly that his first touch would be perfect. Of the player who is receiving it. I was like, what am I watching? And I thought it was like a 1-off, 2-off. I thought as the competition keeps getting better, more difficult teams keep coming, it will get difficult. No. The stats say he finished with 6 assists, which itself is a lot for playing 7 games and getting 6 assists. Which means
6 or 9?
No, 6.
6, okay.
But I am telling you, if you are actually, they have these key passes or something.
I think 6 is like the most ever in the tournament, I guess.
Might be.
In terms of assists.
Might be.
Getting 6 assists is not, it's much more harder than getting 6 goals.
No, to think about it, only in 7 games, for a player who all of us think is finished, I will accept it. I like him as a player.
Everybody told, I told that, like he's done. He's like the wasted potential, this thing.
He's like the Neymar. But little worse, but yeah, Neymar.
I'll give a perfect example. I genuinely thought he'll end up like Alexander Pato.
Oh, shit.
Initial this thing, reach a peak very fast, then like immediate slump.
Drop, yeah.
He's not even that old.
He's not.
I think he's young. He's less than 34, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
He's 32, I think. 33 years old.
Yeah, correct. 33. That age he's playing in Qatar. Oh my. Hopefully, I think this is like for the world to see like number 10s are still relevant and can be used if you have the right setup around it.
I have a hot take that tactics in football are overrated.
Right now, like there's nothing new. Now everybody's doing the same thing.
No, it's we have complicated football to such an extent. It has stopped becoming a game. It is now more of a science. It's like you have to do this in certain area. You have to look at this guy and pass in this way. You have to be in this area of the pitch. No. You watch James Rodriguez play for Colombia. You will understand why football is beautiful again. My God, it was so good.
I guess Mr. Pep found so much in the game, tried to land up things like now whatever you're saying is coming to. We should thank Mr. Pep for that.
Yeah, my God. It's become too technical.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
it's like position oriented. Like you stay here, you stay here. There's no freedom for any player for doing anything.
And like if a player has freedom, like Messi is now at a point where he has freedom, but he becomes a liability to his team because of his freedom.
Correct.
That is how much tactics have developed, that if you give a person a freedom, however good he is on the ball, whatever he can do, he is still a liability for his team. Which is a very weird way to look at football. And for that specific reason, I'm telling you, nobody watches Copa America. No one likes Copa America. I watch Copa America because I like Brazil. That is my third point. I will get to that. But like, when you watch Copa America, we are so focused on European football that our definition of football has become European football. There is a world outside that, and Copa America always opens my eyes to it.
No, I still like, I don't think Europe will come into that thing like it's against. I think they'll still focus on system focus, but there is a change that is happening in the South American countries. They're going back to this thing. I don't know what it's called. Relationism or something.
True.
Like there's
no fixed position.
Fixed position. Like it's mostly like they have areas.
Yes.
And some of these teams like they have players who actually can know the basics of every position.
True.
So if in case something like happens, they can do decently for a given amount of time. So by that time they'll keep changing. So that is what you see. Like if you look at olden times, like people were randomly moving here and there. Then they brought in structure, like the defending to the core, counter attacking, then possession control, triangle. This all came, and initially it was nice because not every team was doing it. One or two teams were doing. Like okay, they were good to time. Once everyone started catching up to that, now the games have become very stale. If you get, let's say, if you get a team, both teams having the same tactics, possession, half the time you will see ball bouncing here and there.
True.
They'll get the ball, they'll try to pass, hold the ball for some time, then these guys will get the ball will hold for some time.
It's like that table thing, table football. What's it called?
It's going like that. I'm not saying like the ping pong version, but it's like, okay, you'll go here, you'll go here, you'll go here. Then if you get a possession team and a counter-attacking, then you'll get the most boring game you'll ever see.
And I am telling you, I love watching football. I love breaking it down. I love analyzing it. But genuinely, my definition of football became very boxed because I watched only a certain area of football.
Yeah.
Watching Copa America actually made me feel good about watching football again because it was different. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Like you don't feel in the end of the day, like a lot of us watch football to get that sort of entertainment factor also in our life. And that's slowly those are not there because there are not a lot of guys who are taking on defenders now. There are not a lot of guys like who are like, okay, I'll shoot it from outside the box, I'll try. Now it's like, no, I'll keep passing until we get perfect chance and then score. The thing with that is, sometimes you will not get that, it becomes very boring.
Like there are so many games that we call modern classics because it was 3-4 and the other team won or something like that. But genuinely, will you remember the game after a few days? No, you won't. You'll remember the scoreline, you'll remember who won, you'll remember who played well and all that. But will you remember the game? I don't know jack shit of any of the names of the players in the Colombia national team. But I will remember how they played. That is how beautiful it was.
Everyone, like, if you look at the last break of international football, everyone's conversation was about how Colombia were playing. And remember, this is a team that didn't qualify for the World Cup. And there are 6 teams qualify from at least 5 teams take direct qualification from CONMEBOL. They finished below Peru. So this is a team that is like in the lowest of lows until last year. I think they
were written off. Nobody in Copa America also thought they are like, where will they go? We'll see.
And they beat up the actual favorites, one of the favorites of the tournament, Uruguay, in the semi-final.
Definitely. Uruguay were also very good this tournament. Yeah. Luis Suarez played a good second fiddle. Yeah. But let's not go to that.
Colombia.
Colombia, I'm telling you, if you have not watched now, even for your TikTok fanboys, compilation fanboys, go back and watch James Rodriguez 2024. It's very, 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 very good.
I don't even watch Copa America. I started watching because people were saying Colombia are playing good. So I just watched from the quarterfinals.
Too good. You can ask anyone who's watched those games or just go back and watch replays.
Yeah.
Don't watch replays. Watch highlights also. Even in highlights, you will understand how good they were.
Correct.
So they deserve to be finalists. Did they deserve to win? Maybe not. And obviously they fell short there.
One more, okay, before we finish, like one more small story that people forgot to notice, I guess. Canada made it to the semi-finals.
Which is magical.
Canada made, like Canada is the only North American country to reach the semi, they get out of the group stage. Both Mexico, both Mexico and US. Okay, before the tournament, I heard so many US like, okay, at least quarter, semi, you'll reach. Canada made it, and it is fair enough. They ended up losing to the eventual winners, which is very respectable for them. Given like they didn't have a very decent World Cup, I guess they didn't win a game. They only scored 1 goal, so this is a very good thing for them. I mean, they're not like I'd say like a very big footballing country, but then that bunch of players have like some potential in them, and I was genuinely surprised that they reached at that point. I thought, okay, if any teams are going to lose, I was expecting US to go further, given they are telling this is the golden generation or something.
US and England are now synonyms.
Yeah.
Overrated all the time. I'm sorry for saying
US is basically England light. England is like we are best in the world. US is like we are best in the rest of the world.
I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, so shout out to Canada and anything else you want?
Last one. The downfall of the so-called greatest flair playing nation in the world, Brazil.
Oh, I forgot that.
My God, I don't know. We have entered into 40 minutes mark.
Again,
now,
the
but
conversation rise up. Is Vinicius Junior a club product?
This it has to be discussed because what was this tournament? Garbage.
I think they're still stuck in that Croatia game.
Garbage. My God. I'm telling you, it felt like a local team could go and challenge the Brazil team and still come out on top. There was zero chemistry. They had no cohesion. Nobody on pitch knew what was happening. I felt like, why should I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to watch this? Garbage. Nonsense. I am telling you. Fucking bullshit. I don't know how to swear at people.
No, that's what I was telling you. They're still stuck in that penalty shootout in the World Cup. They haven't recovered from that fully.
How long will it take? Sira, Neymar is injured, I understand. Neymar is a very important part of the national team. Neymar is to the Brazilian national team what Nissi is to the Argentinian national team. No doubt.
No, whatever you say about him in club, he actually plays, whenever he's on the field, he plays well for Brazil most of the time.
He always shows up. He's like Di Maria, but maybe not as effective.
Yeah.
But still, he is the person around who the whole team rallies.
Even if he's not there, like where are all these players,
Exactly.
Madrid players who
I'm
played
coming
for
there
him? Why are they not there?
Vinicius, Rodrigo, Richarlison. I can start naming people. You'll be like, oh yes,
Aren't
all
they
of these are
supposed to
people.
replace him in the future?
Exactly. So bad. There was this meme doing the rounds that this fellow, Ronaldinho, said, this is the worst team we've ever had. I will not be watching this. Obviously, Ronaldinho always keeps playing the fool.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say much, but still, there's a reason why he said that shit. My God, I will read off the lineup of the last match they played a quarterfinal against Uruguay. Okay. You will know. Endrick, the new sensation going to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Rodrigo, Rafinha, Lucas Paqueta, Bruno Guimaraes, Marquinhos, Eder Militao, Danilo and Alisson.
No shortage of talent.
Out of the 11 people, I only don't know 2 people. And those 2 people also, I know. I don't know them as big names.
There are 2 Champions League winners in that team. And two they are key players for that team.
No, where are Militao, Alisson.
Oh, there are 3 Champions League winners. That is even
Rodrigo.
worse. That is even worse. There are three players who played in the Champions League. Out of them, 2 are one of the best players in the Europe last season.
Okay, I will tell you who they played against. Uruguay, they got a red card and the match still went to penalties. Okay, Darwin Núñez, you know. After that, Pellistri, you might have heard if you follow football a lot. Federico Valverde, you might have heard. Ugarte, you might have heard. Backline, other than Nandes and Araujo, I don't know Jack.
Fair enough, correct.
Keeper, I have never heard of him in my life. Out of the Brazil national team, out of the 11 who played,
I think the keeper is from this thing, their national league only. I think the keeper is not playing, not from outside. I guess he's not playing in any bigger team. Keeper is unknown relatively. Compared to that Brazil team, on paper, you will not say Uruguay is like the better team in terms of quality.
Technically, no. You see any team they played against. They played against Mexico, USA, Costa Rica, Paraguay, Colombia.
They drew against USA.
Colombia is the one they played last group stage game.
Yeah.
Look at this shit. 7 shots on targets against 13. It seems.
Colombia dominated the game.
However much I praise them, how Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Rafinha, Lucas Paqueta, Bruno Guimaraes
are struggling to score.
I don't understand this. I make zero fucking sense to me. Zero. And if you had watched the final, if you didn't watch the whole Copa also, if you watched the final, you could have clearly said that the quality difference between the Argentinian national team and Colombian national team is apparent. You can see and tell, okay, these people are not at the same level. Still, this Colombia team managed to push and go through
the game
there.
To make it very even.
That fire, that will, that drive to do something clearly lacking. I don't understand what was this tournament. I don't know what this team is. I don't know what the fuck is happening up there. Garbage. If you don't believe how bad they played, go watch. I am telling you freely. If you disagree with me, you are clearly blind. There's no, you would read. See, you can think it's only my opinion. there are people even more hardcore Brazil fans than me. You go ask them how the tournament
I mean, at this
was.
point, it's quite evident like they're not good as a collective at all, no matter how much talent
They are like the equivalent in cricket would be to compare them to the West Indies national team. All of them individually, wherever they go, they'll be whooping as they come together as a national T20 team, gone.
Fair enough.
It's exactly like that. And I don't know why that is happening. I don't know where the culture eroded, because the lack of quality is clearly not there. Other than having like an out and out striker, they have everything else. And Richarlison, okay, maybe he can play center forward, maybe not a striker, but still, it's decent team. It's a more than decent team. They should have been easily at least been able to make it to the final based on the names on the team
Based
sheet
on the
alone.
Team sheet, yeah.
You take their FIFA ratings, put it on a list.
It's
They'll
always
be the best.
Whenever Brazil play Copa America, the minimum expectation is the final.
Final. I know, right?
That's how this thing I mean, this is Brazil.
That is the thing now. Uruguay and Colombia, and to some extent, like Jittu said, Canada played so well, people forgot to notice how bad Brazil are playing.
Yeah.
They are happy that other countries are outperforming their expectations, that we are forgetting that there are certain countries not even meeting their expectations.
Bare minimum, no.
Bad. I think that completes my rant, because I'll keep on talking if you leave me about Brazil. Okay, I think we are done. We originally planned to have this as a 10-minute talk. It has gone up to 50 minutes. We'll cut this down, so this will be one episode. In our next episode, we'll be talking about a few other topics.
More controversy,
more discussion, and it's going to be entertaining.
Yes.
So thank you so much for watching us today. We will meet you in the next episode, which will most likely be in 2 or 3 days from when this comes out. Thank you.
Like,
Bye.
subscribe, share. Bye-bye.
Like, subscribe, share.